Welcome. This is Colorado Conversation, a public affair program of Wilkes Broadcasting Denver.
Hey, this is Mel. In today's Colorado Conversation, we are talking to the people of Santa's Elves. We are going to be talking about kids giving to kids this holiday season. First up, I have Miss Deborah Sherman. She is the founder of Santa's Elves and her son, Jack. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Jack. Deborah, we're going to be talking about your amazing organization called Santa's Elves, Kids Giving to Kids. Kind of give people an idea of what your concept is about.
Okay, so first let me tell you how it got started, and I think every parent is going to relate to this because Jack was 4 years old. I was actually an investigative reporter at 9 News at the time, and we were going through one of those stages where I couldn't take him to the store without him saying, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. So I was actually on the rowing machine, and I was thinking, okay, how am I going to teach my little boy to appreciate what he has and to give? So we just came up with this simple idea where we would go to the store, he would choose the gift, maybe put a quarter toward it. He drew a picture for the child, and then we reached out to see who needed help, and then we decided we would give that gift, Jack would give the gift face to face to that other child so that he could really see the impact of his giving. And so I told some friends about it. They immediately said, can we do it? And 2 weeks later, there were, 50 people in my house armed with hundreds of gifts. We caravaned down to the Denver projects. We gave away these gifts, the kids did, face to face to the other children, and it was beautiful. I mean, it was such a powerful experience. These people were so thankful and grateful that we knew we were onto something.
It sounds like an amazing concept, especially when it comes to our generation of kids. Most definitely, they instant gratification. They have all the electronics, they have all the games, they have everything at the touch of their fingertips, but they don't really understand the concept of that there's kids who don't have these things, that there's kids who are just appreciative of a pair of shoes. And so it's really awesome to kind of enlighten them to realize that the things that they have are very precious.
Exactly. I mean, all of these, Facebooks, and there's Me apps and the iPhone, everything is so self-centered, and it really teaches children to look inward and, just like you said, not to communicate with other people. And studies will show that you don't develop compassion on electronics. You have to do it face to face, person to person. And that's when you start, building empathy and compassion and things like giving for other people. And you mentioned shoes. So it is that bad. These kids not only, obviously they don't have the iPads and the iPhones and stuff, but most of them, when we ask them what they want for Christmas, ask for shoes. And I think that just speaks volumes about the difference between the have-nots and the haves right here in Colorado. You might expect this somewhere else in another country, but this is right here in our own backyard. And we need to teach our children to get out of their own little bubble. I live in Highlands Ranch, and it's such a beautiful, amazing bubble, right? But just a few miles down the road, there are people who really need help. I mean, we have somebody from the DHA who can talk about that, but there's such a need for kids to get involved when they're young into charities. And there just wasn't anything until now that would allow parents to get their young kids involved in charity. And just one more thing, Mel. So studies show that you can start teaching your children about empathy and giving and compassion as early as the age of 4. And when they give, studies show kids do better in school. They stay away from drugs, and they really see that their actions can make a difference. And that's empowering for a kid.
And how cool is it when the kids give the kids the presents? They're not, the children who are receiving the presents aren't so intimidated by the fact that maybe an adult is giving it to them, but it's someone of their own peer.
Yeah. And Jack, why don't you tell Mel about, do you remember that first little boy that you gave the present to? Can you tell her about that?
So when the kid came, I rang the doorbell with the presents in my hand, he came up to the door and he's like, Mom, someone's here for something. And I came up and I'm like, this is for you. And the kids started crying and the mom started crying because she was so happy and her son that they were getting presents for the very first time.
So you are like the lead elf, aren't you?
Yes.
That is so awesome. And how old are you now, Jack?
8.
8 years old.
Almost 9.
Do you really encourage your friends to do this as well?
Yes.
You talk about it all the time?
Tell them about your friend Sienna. As soon as she heard about it, what did she do, honey?
My friend Sienna, I did a presentation at school, and she's like, as soon as she went home, she's like, Mom, I want to give to these kids. It's called Santa's Elves Kids Giving to Kids.com. And
I love it.
Gave, and she bought a bike.
A bicycle for a kid.
And
Wow.
she taught him how to ride it.
During the event, she gave this girl, I think she was 11, and she'd never had a bicycle before. Can you imagine? 11, not having a bike. And then she taught her how to ride it at the event. And it was amazing.
Look at the impact that you're making, Jack. That is so awesome.
What have you learned from this?
Someone's heart can change someone's life, and when you give, you can experience not getting, but giving. And if you're greedy, you just keep it to yourself. But if you're giving and willing to be spending your money on toys for kids that need presents and need money, and their parents don't get much money, and they don't really have much to give, we give them something that they can play with forever, and we treasure that moment.
And how does that feel when you do that?
It feels good because when you give to someone, it feels like you're giving to yourself, but with power and energy, and you're expressing it to the whole entire world.
You're really going to make me cry, Jack. I
know,
wish
me
the
too.
whole world was full of Jacks. Let me tell you, you are an amazing young man.
And they can be. I mean, we
absolutely.
just teach them young, and then we inspire kids to give as they grow up. You know, my mom inspired me. Mel, I don't know who inspired you, but, you know, we teach these kids, and then they grow up to be givers. And you know what? It's a small world. And if we can all help each other, it's just going to be that much better.
And if you'd like to sign up and become a Santa's Elves, please go to our website, KOOL105.com. Click on the link. It'll take you straight over to their website, and you can volunteer your child to be another Santa's Elves, because we need lots of them. As the area starts to grow, that means that more people are going to be in need. And so this organization needs to keep on going for the holidays in the future.
Yeah, so that first year we did it, I think we helped 25-something families, maybe 70-something kids. This year, Mel, we're going to help 2,000 children in that area. I know, right? Yay! And it's win-win, right? It's win for our children. It's win for their children. You know, and Renee from the DHA can tell you more about how it impacts them. But let me tell you how it works. So I want to introduce you to Carol Jo Zastro, and she's one of the moms who said, I want to do this. I want to help. I want to get my kids involved.
Good morning, Carol.
Hi.
And you are one of the volunteers in Santa's Elves as well.
Yes, I'm part of the Santa's Elves team. I've been active with them for the past 4 years now.
And what have you seen throughout the years, the difference that Santa's Elves can make in the lives of these children?
Well, I think that the original kids that were involved when we were still quite small, you know, probably spread the word a little bit within their neighborhood. And they, you know, have experienced getting presents at Christmas, which they probably never had before. And so now we're just growing by word of mouth, and we're trying to spread the word. And I think that our event has gotten big enough where now we're actually a charity that's out there. So,
and how can people get involved and be a volunteer just like yourself?
Actually, you can contact KOOL Radio if you're interested in volunteering, but also our website is www.santaselvesdenver.org, and there's opportunity on that website to click a button to become an elf and give gifts, or if you'd like to volunteer your time, you can also locate us on that website.
There's several ways that people can get involved. They can actually adopt a family, or they can donate money, or they can volunteer their time.
Right. So if you'd like to adopt a family, what you do is you go onto our website, and there's a prompt that says, you know, become an elf and give a gift. And that will kind of lead you to a list of families, and the families can range anywhere from 1 child to 10 children. Some people like to, you know, pick a family that has ages of children that are respective to their own children, so that they can get more of a one-on-one idea of what it might be like to receive these gifts. But otherwise, you can choose any family that you'd like, and that will then give you the names of the children and the ages and the sex of the child. And once you fill in all your information, it will direct you to your own email, which will then give you more specific information on what kind of gifts that they would like. The 3 things that they've put on their wish list, which, like Deb said, normally is boots and coats and shoes, rather than, you know, the newest toy.
And that's one thing that is very humbling. I did that myself. Went to a children's charity place. It was kind of like a halfway place for kids to go until they get into their foster homes. And these kids are going to be alone, no family or anything on the holidays. And we custom made each box for these kids. And I can remember seeing their faces. It wasn't getting an iPad or a game system or anything like that. It was the tears would flow when they saw that they got their first pair of Nikes, or they got a book to read, or a belt that fits them. And you just really puts things into perspective, especially for our kids. We want to teach them how to give and not always, you don't have to always receive to feel good about things. And so having this I love the concept of how it brings kids together, because it's less intimidating, I would think, for the children receiving the gifts. And when you have kids coming together for each other, the ones who are generous enough to say, you know what, hey, I think that this person deserves it more than I do, it really makes your heart feel good for the future.
Yes, I have two sons, and I started this when they were 14 and 18, and their Christmas list was comprised of iPads, the newest phones, Beats, all these types of things. And they were busy with their friends and doing all kinds of things. And so I was like, let's take a look at the other side of this, the actual giving side of Christmas. And I got them both involved. And in turn, then at my son's high school, he, incorporated his Spanish Honor Society, and he was on the student council and got those kids involved wrapping and shopping for the gifts. And it just spread like wildfire. I mean, they were all so excited about being able to be part of this and to give kids their own age, 14 and 16-year-olds that had never really had a gift to speak of on Christmas morning. So that was really a neat lesson for everybody. And my children have completely changed their outlook on Christmas.
I love it. Please go to KOOL105.com, click on the link, and you can learn more about Santa's elves. And there's a big distribution date on the 12th.
Yes, December 12th is going to be our event at the Rudy Rec Center. And it's actually going to be where you can hand the presents over to the receiving families. That's something very unique to our cause, unlike Toys for Tots or some of these really other neat charities that are out there, or the Giving Tree at church, where you're giving a present and it's going to somebody needy, but you really don't ever get to see where it goes or who it goes to. This way, you actually get the full experience by getting to see their faces as they receive the presents, and it's quite wonderful.
It's amazing what you guys are doing. Thank you so much, Carol, for your volunteer work and getting your children involved as well. We're going to talk with Renee. She is part of the Denver Housing Authority, and you basically get to see the families that are going to benefit from this organization. You have to choose them from where they're at with you guys?
We have families across the city of Denver, and the families that we're serving through this program to date live at one of 20 sites across the city. So all of those sites have staff on board who help them register for this event. So we flyer to recruit for participants for Santa's Elves.
Now, what have you seen throughout the years for Santa's Elves? The impact that it's made on the families?
It's a very positive impact. It's very exciting to see it, because we do get toys donated through other sponsors, which is great. But this is unique because the families get to meet the families that they're donating to. And it's also different in that it's not one gift for one child. It's family to family. So it's a really cool experience.
Now, the Denver Housing Authority, how can they get in contact with you if they may know of a family that may need that? Or is there some way that they have to get involved?
So probably the best way is to go through the Santa's Elves site, since they have all the registration already set up. I think that's the best way.
Okay, and you can go to that at KOOL105.com. What would you like our listeners to know? What it is that you guys really do for those that are less fortunate here in Denver?
So a quick overview. Denver Housing Authority houses families who are poor. We have over 11,000 units across the city of Denver, with about 26,000 residents overall. Now, what's interesting is that over half of the people that live in Denver housing are children. And so these kind of services are great. We have 2 big drives, 3 actually every year. We do back to school drive in the summer for backpacks and school supplies. Right now, we're doing some big Thanksgiving drives for families with kids and seniors and people with disabilities. And then at Christmas, we do big drives to get toys. So the effort that we have at DHA is we're working with families to help them work towards economic self-sufficiency throughout the year. And then these supportive services are great because it helps them have hope and have a positive experience.
And hopefully get the children to break the cycle.
Right.
Once that they become adults, that they become self-sufficient and they can handle things that are going on in this world. Because we all know it can be really tough, and you can never judge somebody's circumstances by no means. But helping our kids to just understand how the world around them works, and it's really cool to have these kids come to the children and help them.
Right.
Well,
when poverty is difficult because it's a lot of negative experiences. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of have-nots, and you're without. And to have this kind of experience where people are coming to you from their heart and giving you toys, it's really nice. I think it helps you become more positive.
Well, you guys are doing wonderful things over there at the Denver Housing Authority, and we really appreciate it, Renee, and I can't wait to witness this. This is going to be my first year being a part of it, and I'm so excited. I'll talk to Deb one more time before we close, and we'll get a little bit more information about Santa's Elves and really getting people on board. This is, what year are you in?
Okay, this is our 6th year, and you know what's really cool? So Renee was just talking about the people there. Last year, we had a woman who was receiving the presents, and this was 2 years ago. And then she came back the year after, and that year she was a giver.
Wow.
So, hopefully we give them a present, and then their parents can pay their rent. And then next year they've gotten out of that situation. And then it's wonderful to see them turn around and give. But yeah, so there are some big families on there. There are families with one child, like Carol said, up to 10 children. The families with 10 children, it's great for a company. I know you guys, KOOL, that you're going to adopt some kids. But any big company can get in there, adopt 10 kids, and then give these presents face to face during this huge fun event on December 12th.
This is what I say to the corporate sponsors. You know what? It's coming to the end of the year. You need to do some giving.
That's right. That's right. They need to be sponsor elves.
And I love the fact that it's local. It is right here, helping families and getting our kids involved. That is a great concept, Deb.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And it's just so important, for the future, because we want to make an impact. You know what? This helps me become a better mom, right? And you a better mom, and everybody else, because we're leading by example.
And that's the way to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And people can get involved. Just get over to KOOL105.com. Click on the link. You can sponsor a family. You can donate money. You can come out and join us on December 12th. Where's the Rudy Rec Center?
So the Rudy Rec Center is 2855 West Holden Place.
Okay.
And you can go to our website, and we'll have a map and everything. And I just want to remind people, you don't have to have a child to be an elf. You can be an elf. Your company can be an elf. In fact, we have some really huge, amazing sponsors like Batteries Plus Bulbs, and they're elves. And so they have sponsored or adopted, if you will, a whole bunch of children. And it's amazing for them and their employees.
This is, like I said, this is a really great thing to get your kids on board with. Teach them the art of giving. And I think that we're going to have a much better future with our kids if we all become very giving people. And it's really not about, it's not so much about the presents per se,
right,
as it is about the act of kindness.
That's right. And isn't that what the year is all about? I mean, isn't this what Christmas, really the real spirit of Christmas is all about? Or whatever religion you are. I mean, it's about giving and helping and making this a better place to be.
That's what it's all about. Well, I really appreciate all of you guys being in here, and I'm looking forward to a very successful Santa Elves year.
Well, thank you, and we're going to see you down there at the event on the 12th.
Heck yeah.
And in your little elf shirts. And thank you so much. We really appreciate all your support.
Go to KOOL105.com for more info. Just click on that link, and it'll take you everything that you need to know about Santa's Elves. Thank you so much for all the people being here from Santa's Elves. Again, if you'd like more information, go to KOOL105.com. If you'd like your local nonprofit featured here, feel free to email psa@wilkesdenver.com. Let us know a little bit about your organization and how you serve the community, and we'll get back to you. Until next time, continue to make a difference where you can.
Welcome to Colorado Conversation. Hi, my name is Bo. I'm here with Danielle Travis, Marketing and Development Coordinator for Bayard Enterprises. For those who don't know, what is Bayard Enterprises?
Well, Bayard Enterprises is a nonprofit here in Denver. We've been around since 1969, and we provide employment services for people who are homeless or have disabilities and are just really facing challenges to getting and keeping a job.
There you go. So how do you help? Do you actually seek out jobs for them, or do you create jobs for them?
We do a little of both. Bayard does training for these folks, evaluation to determine what their skills are, how we can best help. And then we have different contracts and programs where we can place people, but we also create partnerships with employers in the community who are looking for talented workers, and we help direct folks there.
Super. Bayard Enterprises, and it's spelled Bayaud Enterprises. If you want some more details, definitely check out their webpage, which is bayardenterprises.org. That's simple.
Easy enough.
There you go. Danielle, thank you for stopping by today. So you help them find jobs, people that need a little help, possibly homeless, get back on their feet. Do you help in interviewing skills or just skills in general, or you find out what kind of skills they have and then place them or try to?
That's always the first step, is finding out what skills they already have and how we can complement those and add to those or help them utilize those skills. So we can provide interviewing skills. We can help them rebuild their resume and write that in a way that employers are actually going to read them and see what they've got to offer. And then we can place them into all sorts of training and get them moving along.
There you go, Danielle, bayardenterprises.org for all the details. If you know a family member or a friend or a neighbor that might need a little help getting back on their feet. And what type of metro area do you cover? Is it all of Colorado or just all of Denver?
We say Denver Metro. We have a little bit of reach up into Boulder and a little bit down into Colorado Springs, but we're primarily in the Denver Metro area.
All right, super. And I know Colorado Gives Day is coming up. When exactly is that?
Colorado Gives Day is Tuesday, December 8th, and it is a great statewide initiative to get all of our folks and neighbors across Colorado giving to nonprofits who need some help.
Now, should they go directly to your webpage to donate or get involved, or go to Colorado Gives Day webpage?
They can do either, but to support Bayard, we'd love if you came to bayardenterprises.org, and we have a donate button right on our homepage that talks all about Colorado Gives Day. But if there are other great nonprofits around that you would like to support, you can just go to coloradogives.org.
There you go. It's all right there. They make it that simple. And this time of the year, I think it's good to give. I mean, a lot of people are going to be exchanging gifts and such. Exactly. Well, how about giving? It'll make you feel good inside. Builds that karma, right?
Exactly.
So Danielle is here, bayardenterprises.org. You go directly there, or coloradogives.org. That is coming up December 8th. Or you don't have to wait till December 8th. You could jump on right now, correct?
You could. These gifts are appreciated all year long. The great part about giving on Colorado Gives Day or scheduling a donation for Gives Day is that all donations are proportionally matched, every dollar, by First Bank and their First Bank Incentive Fund. So it's a great opportunity for you to give a piece and for the community to help grow that gift and make it even more substantial.
I did not know that. So thank you for bringing it up. So it is better to wait till December 8th, because then it's going to get matched.
Or you can schedule it for December 8th. So if you logged on to bayardenterprises.org today and clicked on the donate button, you can schedule it to come out of your credit card or checking account on December 8th. So you don't even have to worry about it if that's a really busy Tuesday for you. You can schedule it ahead of time, and it'll be given on December 8th, and it'll get that partial match.
There you go, bayardenterprises.com. Once again, BAYAUD enterprises.org. And what do you do with those financial donations that come in?
We are primarily a self-sufficient organization in terms of funding. We generate a lot of our own revenue, but donations make a huge difference to give us the opportunity to have those dollars to place them where they are most needed. And for us, that means getting people bus passes. When someone is homeless and looking for work, transportation is a huge barrier. So we can buy bus passes. We can get them food to get them through until they get their first paycheck. Or the bottom line is they go back to our employment services to make sure that people who really need this training and need this support can get it.
And how many people are you helping per year?
We're serving about 1,100 people every year, and about 600 of those folks are homeless. And so it's a huge population that's definitely in need in our community.
Danielle is here from Bayard Enterprises. How about some success stories that you could tell me about people or even families you've gotten back on their feet and now they are living on their own and doing much better?
I was just talking to someone the other day who came to us, had moved here from California, and got here and couldn't find work and ended up on the streets, didn't know where to turn, had some skills, but didn't know which employers would actually be able to take him in and help grow those skills and give him a job that would keep him self-sufficient. And so we've worked with him to provide training. We gave him some paid job shadowing opportunities with some of our employment partners. And now he is working part-time for another nonprofit here in town supporting their programs. And his long-term goal is to go back to school to become a case manager so that he can help others who've been in his shoes.
Well, that's great. So you're helping about 1,100 plus each year. BayotEnterprises.org for all the details. Colorado Gives Day is coming up Tuesday, December 8th. You definitely want to help then because your financial donations will be matched. ColoradoGives.org, you go there, or directly to BayotEnterprises.org. How big is your staff? I mean, how much can you help others?
We have about 50 staff members right now, about 35 at our main location. And then we have several contracts throughout the community where organizations have outsourced a piece of their operations to us. And so we manage those operations and are able to hire people into those jobs that we've worked with. So that constitutes another 15 members of our staff. And so that gives us the capacity to serve quite a few people.
Good. Danielle's here. She is the marketing and development coordinator for Bayot Enterprises. Do you have any big events coming up?
Not at this time of year, but mark your calendars now for April 28th, 2016. We will be having our 24th annual tribute luncheon. Last year, we were fortunate to have Amy Van Dyken Ruin as our keynote speaker. And this year, we will have Kelly Bruff, the CEO and president of the Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce.
Very good. Last year, didn't you do a big shredding event? And are you doing that again?
We do several throughout the year.
Okay.
We operate a document shredding business. It's one of the ways that we generate revenue that goes back into our employment programs. And it also allows us to employ people who've come through our programs. And so we operate that facility all year long, but we can also do shredding events for local businesses and residences and homeowners associations, all those fun things.
That's what I remember. I remember the shredding because I went and I did it with some of my personal documents. So I think that's great. So maybe you want to put on a shredding event. Bayot Enterprises could help, which would then help get money in their pockets to help more people during the year, huh?
Exactly.
I like it. Shred it and help.
Exactly.
Bayot Enterprises, Danielle is here. We appreciate your time. So the holiday season, is it easier to find people work because companies need it, or is this a tougher time?
It's easier to find temporary work. Obviously, there's a lot of retail outlets that'll do seasonal help, but what our long-term goal is to get someone into a long-term permanent job placement where they can keep that job beyond the holidays. And so it's a little difficult this time of year, but those temporary positions definitely help get them a foot in the door to lead into a permanent position.
Can show some accountability, responsibility, and could hopefully get them to a more permanent position.
Exactly. It gives those folks an opportunity to show off the skills that they have and build some relationships with employers.
That is great, Danielle. Now, is it better I've been mentioning the webpage, BayotEnterprises.org. Is that the best way, or a phone call is just as well?
The website's a great place to start, but you can always call our front desk and talk to our front desk staff there, and they can point you toward the programs we have. And that's just 303-830-6885. Monday through Friday, we're there, and we can always answer questions.
There you go. So write it down. You got a pen and paper, 303-830-6885, Bayot Enterprises, or online, BayotEnterprises.org. Employment matters is your slogan there. I like that.
It is. It really is the root of all that we're doing. We provide support services and we provide all these other things that people need. But the bottom line is employment. Without employment, people aren't going to be successful. They maybe don't feel like they have self-worth. And this is a way we can rebuild people who've been through some tough times and get them into a situation where employment's going to help be the answer and help them be successful.
Excellent. How long have you been with Bayot Enterprises?
I just celebrated my 7th anniversary, actually.
Oh, lucky 7. Look at you.
And I'm still kind of one of the newbies. We've had folks at our organization who've been there 20, 30, 40 years. We have a really wonderful, dedicated team who believes in everything that we're doing.
There you go, helping out the Denver and metro area. BayotEnterprises.org. Not only can you pass this information along to someone who might need it, whether it's a family member, a neighbor, or a friend, or you can maybe put on your own shredding event. I think those are excellent events, and you can do them year round, huh?
Exactly. Or if you are cleaning out the basement, cleaning out the attic, and just have boxes and boxes to get rid of, we have a drop-off facility. And so folks can just bring their confidential documents to us, and they are shredded at the highest level of security, and makes it just a little bit easier for you when doing the clean out. And then, again, puts a lot of our folks to work.
I think it's great. Shredded in New Year. Help others. Bayot Enterprises there for you. Danielle, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This has been Colorado Conversation on Wilkes Broadcasting Denver.